I never wanted to be an actress, but I had to work because of financial pressure. I actually flunked my 8th standard. And I was
Oh.
I was so ashamed to go back to the class. I went for about a week and it was very embarrassing. And finally, I was told my dad has lost his job and that I will have to start working.
Right. And Rishi Kapoor had some role to play in you meeting
Oh,
Yash
without
Chopra
Rishi
ji?
Kapoor, I wouldn't have had a career.
Okay.
I went to some set and he was there. Of course, I knew who he was, and he just saw me and he just walked up to me and he said, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Don't judge people who do whatever they do to their face. That's their prerogative. But if somebody's going to judge me, then even I will not keep quiet." With Ajuba, the thought stayed with me that I had actually replaced an actress in the movie. And especially this pressure on women to look good all the time is something which is a bit too much for me to handle. Like any other profession, I mean, why is the movie industry criticized so much?
This is Nawaz Kochra joining you on Indian Express, and I welcome you to our all new episode of Dear Me. The guest who's joining me today, she comes with an amazing journey. She's worked with the biggest of actors, whether it was Tirchi Topi Wale or the Ajuba or the Tridev or the Vijay. She has won hearts and how. Now she's back in the industry, but she's here to make it on her terms. While we dive into that conversation and get more details on it, I welcome amongst us Sonam Khan.
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
You know, I have to say this. What a legacy. What a journey. Like, when you look back at those moments, how does it feel today? Sitting here, looking back at the biggest of stars you worked with, how was all of it back then?
I was very young when I started. I was like 13 and a half. So it was a beautiful learning experience. And I had a time of my life working in the Indian movie industry. Um, they gave me a livelihood. They gave my parents a livelihood. I never wanted to be an actress, but I had to work because of financial pressure. But nonetheless, it was a very smooth journey. It was like a fairy tale kind of a dream. My very short stay in the Hindi cinema,
Okay.
also Telugu cinema,
Hmm.
and a bit of Bengali cinema.
Right. But I want to understand what was life like for Sonam.
Bakhtavar Khan is my
Bakhtavar
actual
Khan
name.
was the actual name. So what was life like Bakhtavar, before she became Sonam?
Oh my God. My life was basically, I'm the only child, so I was with my parents. I used to go to school, they used to drop me, they used to pick me up. My teachers were never happy with me because I used to never concentrate in school, and I actually flunked my 8th standard. And I was
Oh.
I was so ashamed to go back to the class. I went for about a week and it was very embarrassing. And finally, I was told my dad has lost his job and that I will have to start working.
Right.
So I always wanted to be an air hostess or a teacher. So it came as a shock to me. And my parents didn't bring me up in a manner where I was ever praised for my looks. So I didn't even know I was good looking. Actually, I got to know I was good looking after I turned 40. I was
Okay.
very unaware about my looks or the body type I had. And that's a good thing because it never went to my head. So they said you won't have to go back to school, and dad has lost his job, and maybe you should try and maybe you'll be a success. So I did a small photo shoot. I showed that photo shoot to Firoz Khan Saab, and he took a small screen test um, with this song. I think it was from Jambaz, if I'm not mistaken, and he wanted to cast me in Dayavan.
Okay.
But Dayavan never happened. No, sorry, he was going to cast me in Yalgar.
Oh.
Sorry, my bad. He was going to cast me in Yalgar, and that movie didn't happen. And he started making Dayavan instead. He started prepping for
Okay.
the movie, and he told me that if I take you for the daughter's role, it's not, you'll get typecasted as a character actor.
Right.
And I can't take you opposite Vinod Khanna, you're too young. So I took that screen test quietly and I showed it to Yash Chopra sir.
Yes.
And he signed me on immediately without a screen test, without an audition. I mean, I just signed the movie.
And if I'm not wrong, he gave you the name Sonam also.
Yes, he thought my name was a bit too long and not suitable for an actress.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was named Sonam because he really loved Anil Kapoor sir's daughter's name.
And Rishi Kapoor had some role to play in you meeting
Oh,
Yash
without
Chopra
Rishi
ji?
Kapoor, I wouldn't have had a career.
Okay.
I went to some set and he was there. Of course, I knew who he was, and he just saw me and he just walked up to me and he said, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" I said, "My name is Bakhtawar Khan, and I want to work in movies." See, these people will not do anything for you. Your career will be ruined.
Hmm.
I'll introduce you to Yash Chopra. Of course, we all grew up watching Yash Chopra's movies. So I said, "Wow, will that happen, sir?" He says, "Of course, I'll make it happen." And within 2 days, I met Yash Chopra.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then Vijay happened.
Vijay happened, and all the sex symbol bit happened. The bikinis happened. I
उस
don't mind
टाइम पर
wearing.
ये सब
I
का
don't.
रिसेप्शन
I
कैसा था?
actually I don't mind wearing a bikini again. Why
Okay.
not?
You know, I love that spirit. But
Yeah, why not?
back then, you know, how was that? Must have been a very, you know, crazy time when people would have very strongly reacted to that bold move from you.
Too bad they were not running my house.
True.
They didn't have parents to look after.
Absolutely.
I don't follow a rule book. I do as I feel. It's very important to be your own person and decide and make your own decisions in life.
Absolutely.
Because you will never be able to please people.
Hmm.
If you're too quiet, they will say, "Oh, you know, she lacks energy." If you're too loud, they'll say, "Oh, she's so loud, she's out to get publicity." So you cannot think about people and you can't
Okay.
compete with people. You have to be in your zone, what you're comfortable doing, basically.
But you know, also when you know when you were very young and when you were new into this industry, keeping your opinion was something you know Sonam did always. Like, did you were you very open about keeping your opinion? If something was not okay with you, you would do that.
Yes, I did that, and I don't know how God gave me that strength. I am a very opinionated person about myself. I don't
Okay.
judge other people. Like, I've got nothing done on my face. There's no Botox.
Hmm.
I don't even get a facial done. But don't judge me for my looks.
Okay.
I don't judge people who, you know, do whatever they do to their face. That's their prerogative. But if somebody's going to judge me, then even I will not keep quiet. I'm that kind of a person.
Also, if I'm not wrong, there's a connection you have to Zeenat Aman ji.
Yeah, Zeenat Aman, ma'am, is my mother's first cousin. Aman
Okay.
Saab was my grandmother's real brother, blood
Okay.
brother. Yeah.
So, ever met or you know?
I have never really spoken to her, but yes, at family functions earlier, eons back, I've met her. And I'm so
Wow.
happy she's doing well. I would love to work with her one day. It'll be such an honor.
Absolutely. Also, I want to understand that you know you worked in Tridev with the biggest of actors. You worked in Ajuba also. What are the memories you carry with you? Like you know that you cherish till date. वो एक वो ऐसी याद हर project से that has stayed with you.
With Ajuba, the thought which stayed with me, I'll come to Tridev later.
Yes.
With Ajuba, the thought stayed with me that I had actually replaced an actress in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because Shashi Kapoor sir thought that I looked like a princess. So I was signed on, and the other actress was like asked to keep the signing amount and, you know, whatever.
Okay.
And where Tridev is concerned, I did my first shoot for Tridev. It was Tirchi Topi Wale song, and that's where I met Nasir Saab. And he was shocked. I mean, he went, you know, in the corner, you know, to the director Rajiv Rai, who I later married, and he said, "My God, you know, she's younger than my own daughter. Nasir Saab has a daughter from his previous
Yes.
marriage, and but what an actor to work with." And even Shashi Kapoor Saab, he was brilliant. I mean, जैसे खानदानी लोग होते हैं, you know, treating all the actors with so much respect, going to Russia, it was such a beautiful experience.
But that time without social media was also nice. Like you liked.
No, I love social media.
Okay.
It's time to move on. It's good to move on with times.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if I was born too early. I should have been born for this generation.
Amazing, amazing.
I'm loving the technology.
Totally. Also, I want to understand how was, you know, back then you said you've had a very amazing journey and, you know, a very good experience with people. But us time per, you know, industry was in a very different space, making a mark and all was very different. But also, there is one side to it that was also an era where there were a lot of catfights or, you know, actresses did not gel up very well with each other. Ever happen? Ever anything like that happened?
Actresses never got along with each other. I mean, I got along famously well with Nivya Bharti. And also, one actress who I got along very famously was Amrita Singh.
Okay.
So, these two actresses were very, 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 very fond of me, and I was very, very, very fond of them. That's it. Other actresses, sometimes we used to not even acknowledge each other.
Okay. But was
I'm not
that
taking names.
yes, that is okay. But was that rivalry also very strong when like it was in the public eye always?
See, I was too young to comprehend anything.
Acha.
My attitude was like, okay, if she's not going to say hi to me, why should I say hi to her? It never went beyond that. And I didn't have the brains to go deeper into it or, dig deeper, like, or play politics. I've always been a very simple person. At 13 and a half, 35 years back,
Ah,
you can imagine.
absolutely. But 35 years. Firstly, what led to you taking a break? Like, why did you decide
I got
to?
married. I wanted to get married. I got married. And basically, yeah, that's it. I mean, I got married, I had a child, then certain things happened. I had to leave the country, and I had to look after my son.
Hmm.
He's got autism,
Yes.
and I'm extremely proud of him. He's doing very well for himself, and his father is doing a great job, Mr. Rajiv Rai. He is a brilliant human being, and we are co-parenting our son together. We are very good friends despite our divorce, and yeah, it's great.
And then this decision to come back, what prompted that?
Actually, it was COVID,
Okay.
and I put on a lot of weight. And I lost like 30 kilos during COVID. I have a small house in Uti. I went there and I just thought to myself, son has become big.
Hmm.
He doesn't need me.
Right.
I mean, he's very independent. He travels all over the world on his own. He gets his own visas, he gets his own tickets, he books his own hotels. So he doesn't need me around as much as
Hmm.
before. So I thought, why not make it a try? I mean, give it a try and start working. And that's when I very crazily one day, just on an impulse, I opened my Instagram account.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was very nervous, like, what's going to be the reaction of people. And what really annoys me is that people say, oh, your face has changed. Oh, but you don't look the same. How can anybody who worked if they worked at the age of 13 and a half, 14, and you give up your career by the age of 17, how can you look the same?
True.
How? I mean, name one actor who looks the same when they were 15, 16, 17. And especially this pressure on women to look good all the time is something which is a bit too much for me to handle.
Right.
Women are supposed to dress a certain way, behave a certain way. I mean, why? If a man can and an actor can walk around without makeup, why does an actress has to put makeup? I mean, beauty can be without makeup too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what was the reception like, when you opened that Instagram account and then, you made your first public appearance also?
The response was good. It slowly grew because let's face it, I mean, today's generation doesn't know who I am.
Okay.
And I'm here to tell them that who I was and who I am and who I want to be. But I want to do that through my work.
Yes.
Not exactly through social media. Of course, social media is very important to get a lot of, relevance through that. But it's not exactly the go-to place
Hmm.
to get work.
But sadly, today a lot of actors also say that today when you are in talks for a movie, first thing that they see is how many Instagram followers do you have. Ever encountered anything like that?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Also, what really like about you is that you are very vocal about whether it is your age and you want
Yeah,
to
I'm
play
52,
that.
big deal.
Yes. That is usually not an answer we get. It is like the
Why?
age is
I've
hidden.
lived a long life. I've lived a full life. I look after myself, and if I look decent for my age, why not talk about it? I'm 52. I don't want to say, oh, I'm 45.
Right.
Like, I can't talk to you about my age. I'm not that kind of a person.
But
I'm
does
very
that
proud of the fact that I've lived till 42. I mean, sorry, 52.
52.
That was a joke.
But does that sometimes come in the way of also offers coming to you or you trying to make a comeback? Does that make it difficult?
If it comes in my way, too bad.
But what's happening, on the comeback front? Like what's
I've got offered a certain amount of projects, but I'm looking for that little spark
right?
because I am rejoining work. I refuse to call it a comeback because a comeback is something. You see, what I'm trying to say is that work never gave up on me. I gave up on work.
Right.
And I'm just trying to enjoy my 50s and trying to find my own niche in the movie industry again. And I hope and I pray that I do get that. But I need that little spark in that first offer of a movie or an OTT, which I'm very interested in doing. OTT is something which actually made me think about coming back. So I'm waiting for the spark in a role where I say, okay, wow, I could do that. And I would love to play a negative role.
I was reading a social media thread once where they said that, I think so. You had made some posts on social media and people told you look too glamorous for your age.
I would say Tompi. That's French. Means too bad.
Okay.
Tompi pour toi. Too bad for you.
But does it annoy you sometimes, people are so quick to form judgments about an actress, especially because I don't think so. आज के ज़माने में shelf life का कोई concept बचा है.
I don't give a damn what people think about me.
Okay.
I only think what I think about me. I look at my face in the mirror. I'm a good person. I've not troubled anybody. I've led a clean life, a happy life according to me. That's what's important to me. My own conscience is important to me.
Also, are you in touch with your old co-stars like Mr. Bachchan or?
No, I'm not in touch with anyone except Chunky Pandey.
Okay.
On Instagram, hi, hello, and we like each other's posts. That's it.
And what about Amrita Singh?
I met her recently. She is a fantastic person and always jovial, full of life, and she doesn't have one bad bone in her.
Okay.
She's genuinely a very beautiful person.
I want to understand that you said you never wanted to become an actor. It was all by destiny. Were there some dreams that you had which the career path changed your dreams, or were there any dreams that are yet to be tick marked or fulfilled for you?
Yeah, I want to make my mark as an actress now.
Okay.
And I want to play my age. And I want people to know me organically, sitting in their room in OTT or in a movie in the theater. I am looking for a role where maybe I'm not the main, protagonist, but without whom the story cannot move. That's very important. I'm a very down to earth person. I am not here to compete with anybody. I was gone for a very long time. And some people who probably are seeing the interview right now will, ask themselves, like, who the hell is she? Why is he talking to her? So I want that to go away. I want people to know me again and through good work.
But that moment of returning back, was there ever a time when anybody around you told you, Sonam, it's not a very good idea to go back?
I don't listen. I don't listen.
Okay. And does sometimes being a rebel in sorts, does that come with a cost also?
I'm not a rebel. I'm just
Okay.
I just know what I want. I mean, just because you know what you want, that doesn't mean you're a rebel. It means that you've lived a full life and you have the confidence to accept the fact that failure can happen, but you can get up. Right. Because without failure, there's no success. True. You have to fail to get success. And if you're scared of failure, you will never be able to find success.
How do you perceive the industry today?
I've hardly met any people actually. I guess like any other profession. I mean, why is the movie industry criticized so much? For what? I mean, forget about me, the industry is under the radar all the time.
Right.
We don't need to be under the radar. We are human beings, we have families, we have issues, just like anybody else. It's a wonderful place to be in.
So the idea with Dear Me is that we want you to write a note to yourself right now, saying Dear Me, If you have to give an affirmation or a message to yourself, what would you say?
Dear Butto, that's my pet name, or dear Sonam, you're a very brave woman. You were a very brave girl, and you will be a very brave old lady also.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for
Thank you
removing
so
time and
much.
speaking to us. It was lovely talking to you.
Same here.